And greetings, this is Jester, welcoming you to the review of the armour review. And what we'll do today, we'll start at number 15 with the Shattering Harmonics environment suits. For 20,000 DC, 4,500 dilithium and 250 Licari marks. It was one of the cheapest suits out there, unfortunately. The suit didn't do too well. The weapon was good, but I have to score this marks out of 10 a 2. Moving on to number 14 in my list, the Klingon Honor Guard armour. 20,000 DC, 4,500 dilithium, 5 bohr neural processors, I will get it out, and 250 Omega marks. The weapon wasn't very good. The suit, I thought that was okay. Unfortunately, I could only score the Klingon Honor Guard armour 3 out of 10. Moving on now to the Gamma armour, or polyalloy weave armour. That was a big 40,000 DC, 9,000 dilithium, 5, I can never pronounce them, anyway, 5 of them, and 500 gamma marks. I think it's geranium fragments. Quite an expensive armour. Wasn't fond of it, to be honest with you, so I have to award this a 3 out of 10. Moving on now to the Discovery armour. This was Burnham's CQC environmental suit, which I scored at 12. It was 40,000 EC, quite a lot. 9,000 dilithium, 5 spore canisters, and 500 discovery marks. I could only rate this armour a 3. I didn't much like the weapon that went with the armour. The armour looks fine, but the weapon let it down. Moving on to Burnham's CQC armour, which was exactly the same price. 40,000 DC, 9,000 dilithium, 5 spore canisters, and 500 discovery marks. Again, it was the weapon. It was part of a 3-piece set, and the weapon let that down. So, unfortunately, I have to award that 3 out of 10. Moving on to the Licari Proto-Restorative Combat Armour. Proto-Restorative Combat Armour, that's right, yeah, got it right. Licari Armour. That was 20,000 DC, 4,500 dilithium, 5 proto-matter containers, and 250 Licari marks. I scored that at a 10. The weapon in this case, the Licari weapon, was excellent. Really, really good piece of kit. The reason why the Licari armour is ranked at 10 is because it was very difficult to obtain. And not only that, I couldn't find the helmet. Moving on now to the Dualist polyalloy weave armour, or the competition armour. 20,000 EC, 4,500 dilithium, 5 stratagems and 250 competitive marks. The weapon, unfortunately, I liked the rapid fire of the weapon, but it tended to stick, and after all, someone's got to come ninth, and it was the competitive armour. Moving on to 8th place, I ranked the CounterCommand Exo armour as 8. At 40,000 EC, 9,000 dilithium and 5,000 isomorphic injections with 500 undine marks. This was a little bit of a disappointing armour for me. Ranked it at 8th, but out of 10 I'll give it a 6. Moving on to the Mirko armour. The Mirko armour was 20,000 DC, energy credits, 4,500 dilithium, 5 Borg processors and 250 omega marks. I ranked this armour at 7, and unfortunately the armour was very good, but the weapon, again, the phaser weapons let it down. It came with a couple of phaser weapons and I wasn't keen on either of them, to be honest with you. It was very good armour with another weapon, but unfortunately I can only score this a 6 out of 10. Moving on now to number 6 in my list, the Omega Force armour. Got like an American SWAT team in this. It was 20,000 energy credits with 4,500 dilithium and 5 Borg processors with 250 omega marks. Not a bad weapon, not a bad suit, good for melee. I have to score this one a 6 out of 10. Although I say the weapon wasn't bad, it did let it down slightly. And that's why I've rated it at number 6. At 5 in my list is the Dyson Heavy Combat Armour, or Voth Armour, for 40,000 DC, energy credits, 9,000 dilithium and 5 Voth implants with 500 Dyson marks. This was a reasonably good armour. The weapon that came with it was very lacklustre and not very good. The reason why I've ranked it at 5 is because it had a handy little shield when you knelt down. So on the whole, that little bit of extra got it to number 5. At 4, we have the Terran Task Force armour. Again, not a cheap armour, 40,000 energy credits, 9,000 dilithium, 5 Terran inducers and 500 marks. This armour looks the part. The weapon was also quite good. I quite liked this armour, and that's why I've ranked it at number 4. And I would score this armour a 7. Moving on to 3 in my list, the Gelser Lions Combat Armour. The Gelser Lions combat armour was 40,000 energy credits, 9,000 dilithium, 5 power cells and 500 delta marks. Really liked this armour. The weapon looked the part, as did the armour, and I would score this one an 8 out of 10. Moving on to number 2, the Temporal Defense Initiative armour. Really good armour, 40,000 energy credits, 9,000 dilithium, 5 chronoton buffers and 5,000 temporal marks will get you this armour. I really liked this armour, I really liked the weapons, and it was a very close run thing between these two armours. Highly recommend it, and I would score the Temporal Defense Initiative armour as a 9. Coming in at number 1, however, is the Zenkathi, and I couldn't even say it then, could I? The Zenkathi Retrofit Armour. This will set you back for the 3-piece set at 300 low buy. How does that equate to dilithium? Well, considering on average you get 4 low buy to a lot box, 80 lot boxes will get you 360 low buy, 60 more than what you need. I've just done a very brief calculation here, and that works out at 4 million dilithium. So there you have it. The Zenkathi armour was really good. The weapon is good. The armour is good. The shield that goes with it is good. This little shield on the back. Really liked that. Also, there's the charge. That Zenkathi charge that it has. Really good piece of kit. And that's why I've ranked this number 1 and given it a 10 out of 10. But it is expensive. All these suits, of course, which I've given you the costs for, will be the equivalent for the shields and the weapons as well. Stay with me. I'll be coming back later with more reviews of the armours, shields and weapons, and I'll be scoring those on a separate review. But for now, I hope you find this review useful, and I will see you out there.